Hi everybody, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
And we're the Streeters.
Welcome to the ARTyRV Glass Studio channel tonight. We're doing a live Q&A and we just ask you to put your question in the chat with a Q. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We got a full house tonight, Barb. Everybody's tuned in and we're happy to have everybody here on board.
Yes. If you're watching this on the rerun, thank you very much. Just move on over to our channel at the end of the video and sign up to get our notifications so you don't miss a live.
Yeah, so Barb, I want to go ahead and say hi to all of our ARTyRV fan members tonight.
Yeah.
And while we were sitting here getting everything set up, we had a new member sign up. We want to welcome Z-Fence to the ARTyRV fan club. We appreciate it. And also go ahead and that's Jeremy and his wife Sarah, who are here in the glass studio on the 5th,
Friday?
last Wednesday,
on
the 5th. We were here in the studio, and they drove all the way from Oklahoma, y'all. And they're on their last leg of their trip going home, so I'm guessing North Carolina and at Nashville were fine. So glad y'all have had a safe trip. Thank you for joining the RV, and it was such a pleasure to meet you guys.
Yeah, so we have some questions coming in and everything.
Okay, Barb. Already. That's what we like.
Yeah. I'm going to have to move this or something because I can't. Oh, there it is. Right there. I got to go to the very top and then I'll work my way down.
Here we go, Barb.
Okay, Lena. Hi, Lena. How you doing? This question may have been asked before, but Lena wants to know, how do you determine what size of H channel and U channel to use when creating a leaded panel?
Well, Lena, hey, thanks for asking that question. I hope you and Les are doing well. And so, yeah, just normally what I try to do is I go with the size lead according to the size window that I'm working with. So I know you will be working on some transoms for your new house. And those transoms, if you're going to be working on that, you can get by with 3/16 lead or 7/32. You don't want to use something as big as quarter on a small transom because there are going to be small pieces in it. And if you use a smaller lead, a smaller profile of lead, then you're going to be able to show off the areas that you want to. The other thing, Lena, is keep in mind, you can always mix copper foil and lead together. And don't go away, because during tonight's glass chat, we're going to talk about several profiles that I keep here in the shop, and we'll talk a little bit about those and what I use those for within the windows and the projects that Barb and I are working on.
Yeah, so he'll go a little bit more in depth on that.
But that's a good question, Lena. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Lena. Okay, let's see. Julie wants to know, if you find a dusty, dirty stained glass lampshade, what is the best way to clean it?
Well, it depends on if it is a bent panel shade, or what they call a slag lamp, Jennifer. If it's a slag lamp, you can take the panels out of the lamp and wash them, and then wash the frame itself, and then put everything back together. The other way to clean up is a regular, Tiffany style copper foil lamp would be to put it on a table, put a towel underneath of it, and just spray the heck out of it with a glass cleaner, and then scrub it with a brush, and maybe do that 2 or 3 times so that you can get in all the little cracks and crevices, and then clean it up on the inside as well, and then wax it just like you would any other project. Clean it, you can repatina it if you want, and then clean it up, wash it, and wax it, and hang it. I guess. That's what I would do. If it was an old, dusty, dirty lamp, it's just dust and dirt. I mean, I don't think that...
Clean it the way you would a stained glass.
Yeah, clean it just the way you would after you finish soldering it, I think. Because you're really not going to hurt it, because it's just dirt,
Yeah.
Or if it's, like I said, if it's a bent panel lamp, then just take the panels out, mark them which side, where they went, and just put them under the sink and wash them real good.
Yeah, that's the hard part. We usually spray them with glass cleaner and just spray them.
Really good.
Let it
them
drip down. Just spray it and just let the dirt drip down, and then wipe it.
Yeah, scrub it, with a little brush. Yeah. Yeah, just a little a little brush like you would wash your plates and glasses with, and the sink is a good brush to scrub.
But you can't do that if it has painted glass, any painting on it. Don't use glass cleaner, just distilled water.
Yep. If there's any pieces that are painted, make sure you use distilled water. So, hey, I think we're going to
say hello to Sunshine and
That's
thank
right.
them.
And thank them for sponsoring the show. Hey, Sunshine. Yeah, don't forget. Now, Sunshine helps the ARTyRV channel out by sponsoring this show every Monday night. So if you need some supplies, copper foil, solder, and remember, they keep over 1,500 different colors and varieties of glass in stock in their warehouse. So give Sunshine a call, and thank you, Sunshine, for sponsoring the ARTyRV show.
Thank you, Ed. Christine wants to know where they can find the community page. That is on the ARTyRV YouTube page. There's a banner at the top, and it has a lot of different things across the top, and you might have to scroll over a little to get community page.
Yeah,
I think it's like videos, playlists, community page. I can't remember. I don't have my phone, but it's right there at the top, and on the top banner, the community page.
Wow, Barb, the people tuning in tonight are just...
I know, we got a full crowd here
Thank
tonight.
You guys so much for tuning in tonight.
We have people that are saying that they made it, thank goodness, because, you have to have your priorities.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it. We appreciate y'all making it tonight. And, we've got some projects going on. Jeremy and his wife, they got to see a sneak peek on some other projects that we're working on that we'll be showing everybody soon. So
I guess everyone saw the rebar video that Ed did, or that we did.
We did, yeah. I don't
And
just
Ed
do
did
it.
all the work, and I just filmed it.
She does
But,
all the filming work. That's a lot of
But
work.
I thought that was a great video. If you all have any questions about that rebar video, we'd be happy to answer them. But just keep that on your bookshelf, because you know one day you're going to need to know, even if it's just reattaching one little rebar. That video is going to help you out.
It'll help you out. And you know, and we in the video we applied our rebars vertically. So you don't always do that, simply because most windows that you're going to be applying rebar to are somewhere in the in the 20s and 30 on the widths, and those rebars should be installed horizontally. And but this rebar, because this overall window is 18 feet 9 inches, so the rebars are installed vertically. So because I know the size of the molding already, so when we set the window in, the rebar is actually going to sit directly on the top of the molding, so that the window can't go down. And because the rebars are attached, it's definitely not going in and out. And remember, we're going on that section, that 16 and a half, 18 foot section, there would be 9 vertical rebars. So it'll be quite a bit of rebar in order to help hold everything together, and of course keep it in check for the next 100 years or so.
Yeah, I had a question. Someone did ask, how do you determine whether you put the rebar vertical or horizontal?
Well, Barb, because these windows are just almost a little over 5 feet long, when you it wouldn't make any, because they're connected too. This is a 3-piece window. So it doesn't make any sense to try and do anything horizontally, because number one, you're never going to get it to look good, and number two,
not on this window.
Right. So if your windows are in the 20s or in the 30s on the width, and they're not connected to anything else, and the rebar needs to run horizontally. And I'm running these vertically because I know the size of the molding that I'm going up against, and because these drawings allow themselves for vertical rebar, is we're using it. But the other thing is you can't really make rebar look really good in 16 feet running it horizontally. You're just not going to make it look good, and it's imperative that this looks good from both sides. So.
I want to give a big shout out to Ray.
Hey, Ray!
Ray, thumbs up.
Hey,
How
buddy.
you doing, Ray?
Good to
Thank
see
you
you
for all you do. We really appreciate you. I hope you all are doing well. And tell Susie we said hey, and thanks, Susie, for helping as well.
Yeah, yes, because I know Susie's working hard with you, Ray. It's a family affair there.
Yeah. Les has a question.
Okay.
Is there any place to get a pattern of the sailboat behind you, or do you have to do your own drawing?
Actually, Les, that used to be in a Carolyn Kyle book 40 years ago. I don't know if it's still there, but you can draw that yourself, or I don't know. I guess I could draw it for you and mail it to you for a fee. I'd be happy to. Just tell me what size you want it. Les, you can draw a sailboat. Come on. I think you have a picture of it. Or look in previous videos and just stop it and just draw it to the size you want. But if you need help, I'll be happy to help you, Les. I can get it to you in just a few days. So.
Pauline asked a question, but I think you're going to have to rephrase it, Pauline, because I'm not sure. We're not doing a turtle window, so I'm not sure what that means. I think it might be a typo. Okay, Rick has a question.
Okay.
He continues to struggle with copper foiling inside curves without having the foiling split in spots. That's a common problem.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice to help?
I honestly don't have a way to stop that, because when you go to pinch it around that curve, it even splits on me. But what I have been told before is that copper foil tape will stretch a little bit, And if you can stretch it a little bit before you apply it to that inside curve, a lot of times that may help.
There's a lot of solutions out there, and I haven't sat down and
Yeah,
tried them all.
I
to
haven't
see if
either,
they- I
'cause
mean, there's a lot of so-called solutions out there. I haven't tried them
Right.
all. I've recently heard about one where someone, and I'm not sure whether it was here or somewhere else, they said they use a pencil eraser to kind of stretch it and so
to
that
stretch the copper foil
just
while
a little
yeah.
bit at a time so they can get it around. I don't know.
Yeah, and I
don't know.
and I think it was
It would be a good
even
experiment.
Texas Tom said that he stretches the foil ever so slightly to help him eliminate those cracks on the inside curves.
Maybe one of our viewers has a solution.
A solution, but you know what I've always found, even though that happens, you can solder it and it goes right over top of it, and the only person that knows that it's there is you, because it will solder right on over top of it, and not
Yeah,
it won't affect the structural integrity of it, but you know that it's there. But when you solder it, it will always cover it. You'll never see it. So.
Yeah, and I've heard of people taking a little tiny piece of tape, put it on there, cut it back with X-Acto.
Yeah, you can do that for sure.
Okay. But if any of you have a solution to that problem, that would be awesome. Meanwhile, we need to be looking for the solution.
Yeah,
because
for a solution.
That is a
Yeah.
good question.
But it really is, and like I said, I thought Texas Tom had thrown in an idea on how to do that, or how to stop it.
Here's a solution. Start in the middle of an inside curve, and they have better luck. That was Sinkin said. That.
Well, you can always start in the middle of an inside curve and then work your way, of course, to the outside and just overlap it. You don't have to worry about it. There's nothing says you got to foil all in one piece. If that's what you need to do and that works, I think that's a great solution. I've got some foil work coming up.
Start foiling in the curve and then start bending over slowly. Yeah, I think that's the solution. Start in the curve. That makes sense.
Maybe starting
And
it
a lot
at
of
one
people
end
say
and
that.
working your way out, kind of, because a lot of times you do that anyway. You start to bend something, you start in the middle and work your way out.
Right. That's right. Okay. Yeah, Pauline, I don't know anything about a turtle window, but that must have been, you must have misunderstood. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Maybe
did
it was
a
the southern
turtle
accent.
sculpture several months ago.
Sculpture. You might have heard about that.
Yeah.
And with his southern accent, I just don't
It
know.
could have looked like a turtle. It could have been a turtle.
Yeah, start foiling on the inside curve. I think that would help.
In the center of it, and work your way out.
And work your way out. I think that
would
might help.
So we
Let
had,
us know.
Barb, we had a couple good questions come in this week too that were set up to to use and answer tonight too. So, but I think we've got some definitely good tips on what needs to be done about cracking the foil on the inside curve around the edges.
Okay. I think we've answered all these questions, Ed.
Okay.
Had a couple questions about an inside curve. Same type of question that was here. So if y'all have a question, just put it in the chat. We'll be happy to answer it.
Well, and last week we had a great viewer showcase. There were some beautiful windows in there. So.
If you guys want to be in the viewer showcase, go to conwayglass.com/ARTyRV, and there's a little box on that page. Just click on that, send us a message, and we'll send you a link so you can send some photos. And,
because we'd love to have you in the viewer showcase.
In the August viewer showcase.
Yeah,
that
that's
comes
the
up
first Monday.
Monday in August.
First Monday in August. You need to be in that if you can. And everything's getting.
Okay.
Well, we got lots of new people coming in the show tonight, and we appreciate y'all checking in. And we got a new question.
Okay. Julie has a good way of doing that inside curve. She says she secures the outside edge of the foil piece and rolls the inside edges down with her fingers before burnishing. It works 90%
Oh,
of the
that's
time.
good. That's good.
I get it.
That's good.
Yeah, because then you're not pulling.
Yeah.
Okay, Dee Dee has a question. I made a box with black glass and black patina. I cleaned the box between each step with quick clean spray. On each side of the solder patina lines, there is a smeared look. Thoughts?
That's just I don't what it probably has something to do with the patina that the flux that you're using. Try the Ruby Flux if you're not using that. The other thing is you're getting that film on the edge because you might be working with your iron too hot, because whatever's leaving that film is under the solder, not on the edge of it. It's under it. So you may be using too much heat and your tape's lifting up, and then you're getting that underneath of it. Is that what you think of that, Barb?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
If you get it a little bit too hot, some of that glue will seep out, and it'll be right on the edge of that foil. And then when you go to clean it,
it'll cause a smear or a film. Yeah.
And especially on black glass. Black glass shows everything.
It shows every little mess up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure the black box is probably pretty, but yeah. So but it just doesn't work on black glass. When you lift the tape up accidentally with your heat from the soldering iron, those chemicals are always under there, and eventually they'll dry out. But
yeah, I'm trying to think of what that is. I mean, I know what I would do, but I wouldn't venture to tell you to do it, because you might ruin your box. But yeah, you probably could get that off with a lot of Windex and maybe a little tiny.
You know what? Try cleaning it with baking soda.
Yeah.
Try cleaning it. Get your box finished, and then clean it with baking soda to neutralize the acid, and maybe that'll stop it from bleeding out from underneath of it. I don't know. Put it in the sun and let it dry out a little bit.
Does anyone have some advice on getting 3D, such as a lamp, to line up better? Mine never line up right. Yeah, you got to get that little jig.
Well, for the lamps, and then the other thing is if you're doing flat panel lamps, every one of those panels needs to be identical. You can't be off a little tiny bit because the grinder slipped or something. You can't do it if you're doing flat panel lamps. The whole idea about the flat panel is when you lay them out, they're in a 3/4 of a circle, and then they're taped together. And when you pick them up, they should join on the other side and fit. Actually, they should fit perfectly, not almost perfectly. They should fit really good.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so
okay, well, I was thinking of a.
You can be messing up your lamp panels just by grinding them, because not having a straight edge for your grinder that you can do those straight lines and make it look nice.
Yeah.
Or the other thing is not cutting the panels identical, but without knowing exactly what kind of lamp you're trying to build. Lamps are very difficult, and Ray is the lamp guy. But a
3D lamp to line up better. So, yeah, it depends on how you're putting it together. To line up lamp panels, I use masking tape to line them up before I tack solder spots. Yeah.
Hey, just a quick on the masking tape thing. If you'll use electrical tape is rubber, so it stretches when you lift the panels up, and they fold around each other, and you'll find that it's much easier to connect everything. Use black. It doesn't matter what color electrical tape. Just use electrical tape instead of masking tape.
That was Ray. He uses masking tape.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried the Ray, and
he
you're the lamp guy.
don't want to tell Ray what to do.
I'm not going to tell you what to do, Ray, but the electrical tape works really good. Hey, you know what? In your former life, you would probably have some of that laying around the house.
Okay. We have a student who was a viewer who was starting stained glass. And
well, hey, welcome.
What supplies do we recommend? What supplies would you recommend to begin?
To begin with, we have, on our website, we have just a beginner kit. It includes everything that you need to get started with except the grinder. We don't include the grinder because, what we think is good, you might not think is good. We'll let you do the research. I will tell you this: I'm getting what I think is the best grinder on the market is the grinder by Stainedglass, and they have 3 different sizes, 3 different ways that you can buy it from with the straight edge and the light to just your basic grinder. But what I like about that grinder is the quick snap off head, quick release. But the toolkit that is on our website, you can check that out, and we have them in stock. We get them out in just a couple of days, and they have everything that you need except the grinder. And out of the 14 or 13 tools or materials that come in that kit, you only have to re-buy 5 of them. The rest of them are hand tools that you won't ever have to buy again. So.
Yeah, so if you're going to start out in stained glass, the number one thing that you're absolutely going to have is the glass cutter.
Yeah.
So if you're on a budget, the best place to buy the glass cutter is just go to your hardware store and buy a glass cutter.
Yeah, you can get the little Fletcher.
Yeah, and then go to a little glass shop, your local glass shop, and buy some what we call scrap glass, which is 1/8 inch clear window glass. Sometimes they'll just give it to you, but take a box. They might give it to you. Otherwise, buy some little pieces, go home and practice.
And don't go in their dumpster and get it. Just ask them for it.
Yeah, and so that would be the most important thing is your glass cutter.
Yeah.
So we have a whole list of tools. We have all kinds of videos on how to start and how to begin.
And what tools that you need, and actually how to use those tools.
Right. So you'll need a glass cutter. You'll need a glass square.
Yeah, you'll need some running pliers. You'll need grousing pliers. All of those tools that if you can go to our website and click on the tools page, and it'll be right there. You can see the photograph of everything. It includes an iron control, so that you can control the temperature on your iron. It includes a really nice 100-watt Weller iron, fids, foil, chemicals, everything you need to get started. And all you have to do is watch our videos, and you'll be on your way.
Or go to our Amazon page. We got a lot of
tools on there, so you can
same thing that we use in the shop.
Yeah, so you could piece your toolkit too if you wanted to.
Yeah. Number one is a glass cutter.
Yeah, glass cutter, a square, and a pair of running pliers, a pair of grousing pliers. 4 things, and they'll probably run you about $54.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I saw a question. Sometimes if you use too much flux, it will lift the foil.
Sure it will.
Yeah, it'll bubble.
Yeah, please don't, and it's really hard to do, is to not use too much flux, but I will tell you this. If you'll get rid of all the hair on your flux brush and just leave it really short, kind of like a crew cut, you'll find that you don't use as much flux, but it does apply nice and neat and doesn't go everywhere.
Okay. Let's see. Is all glass the same width?
No, it's not.
You'll want to use 1/8 inch glass to practice on.
Window glass.
And a stained glass.
Yeah.
What they call window glass.
Yeah. Don't buy your art glass and practice cutting glass. Get good at cutting clear window glass, don't you think, Barb?
Mm-hmm.
And then, because what happens when you go to colors or colors that are stacked or opaque, everything changes. So learn how to cut glass and learn the basic properties of it and why it does what it does, when it does it. Before you start practicing on the expensive stuff. I mean, that would just be my advice if you're starting to learn how to cut glass and you haven't taken a class and nobody's actually showed you all the different ways that glass reacts to you. Just cut the glass, watch our videos, please, and they will definitely help you out for sure.
And we have a video on how to sand your glass if you don't have a grinder too, so you can use sandpaper and carborundum.
But if you're gonna have a little bit, but if you're gonna if you're going to dry grind your glass, make sure you wear a dust mask because, glass dust goes right to the bottom lobes of your lungs and stays there. So,
What size copper tape do you get?
typically, the most common is 7/32 copper foil, and that allows you to really do a lot of different glasses. Hey, Miss Mary. Allows you to do a lot of different glasses without having to change your foil.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Toolway Studios. I can't talk tonight. She is looking for some glass. So she was wondering if anyone knew about any unique glass. She's in Northern California. Looking for an old stained glass shop that might be closing down. Okay, we'll put the word out.
Oh, up in Northern California.
In Northern California, yeah. So if you know of any, get in touch with them because they're looking for it.
Right.
Maybe you'll get lucky.
Well, yeah, because I've noticed online a lot of people have their glass blowing equipment for sale, and materials are still hard to get, y'all. They're still hard to get.
Okay, estate sales marketplace. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, marketplace seems to be, and just remember, you're
Marketplace,
you
yeah.
don't
You
pay
can
a
find-
lot for that muffler, but also don't insult the people that are trying to sell it because you know what it's worth, and so do they.
So, if you have any questions, just put them in
But
the
if
chat.
not, it's okay.
What's that?
If you don't have any questions, think of one. Think of one. So you know what? We did have a question. One of our viewers said that they were watching the leaf video, and they every time they go to cut it, the glass breaks crazy because their cutter keeps falling into potholes.
Yeah.
And there's several videos on our playlist about cutting glass and not lifting up your glass cutter just because you go into the pothole and you drive right through it. And drive is the only word that I can think of because you're pushing. I guess you could say you push your cutter right through it. But when you go into those big divots, you need to just keep coming out. The very second that you change the pressure on your cutter or you lift your hand up or pick your cutter up, it's over. It's done. It will not go back and break correctly. Even, and of course you don't know that it was going to break correctly because you just messed up. But more than likely, if you don't pick up on your glass cutter, change the pressure, and just continue to maneuver right out of that pucker mark, it'll break correctly.
Maintain consistent
consistent pressure. Yep.
Okay.
What she says.
Magali wants to know if you have any beautiful glass you'd like to share. He needs to go.
Yeah, I have to bring some out. We're getting ready. I haven't unpacked some other glass that we're getting ready to start using on the next set of windows, so I'll be getting those out because right now all I have out are leafy looking glasses and everything, Magali. But I'll dig a piece out and I'll make myself a note to get a really pretty piece of glass out for y'all next week. Yeah, we want glass.
It's buried. All the pretty stuff is buried.
Well, and we're changing. We're
cutting.
Yeah,
tomorrow?
we're going to sunrises. We're starting to
Tomorrow.
cut. So there'll be some different glasses coming out.
You'll see them on the shorts. They'll be on the shorts, and then I'll have them bring some in here for next week.
Yeah, because once we start whittling the glasses down to maneuverability where we can get them in and out of the light box and everything the way we want them. So Barbara will have some shorts coming up, and you guys will get to see some really pretty glasses coming up.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you, Magali. That'll get him.
Thank you,
Remind
Magali.
him.
Appreciate
He
that.
doesn't
hon.
listen to me. Okay. Granny Momo wants to know, do you have any videos of how to attach rings for chains?
to
Yes.
jump rings, I don't think we have a video. Do we have a video?
Yes, we
do
do.
have a video that we show
With
you how
jump
to
rings.
attach jump rings. You know, you
Ray's
must.
already put it up.
Thank
there you
you,
go,
Ray.
Ray. There you go, Ray.
Yeah,
Thank
you know
you so much.
Let me tell y'all something in your tool arsenal. The thing that you really need for applying jump rings is a long, skinny nose pair of needle nose pliers to help hold that jump ring. But more importantly, you need to put the solder on the jump ring while it's still attached to the table and allow it to cool thoroughly, and then pick it up with your pliers, and you'll be able to set it. But you need to attach the solder to the jump ring while it's still on the table, not on the piece.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, and we have a video on that. Thank you for sharing that, Ray. I think we get that question a lot. Okay.
We do. We really do.
RR wants to know, when using restrip on a large design, do you use it through every seam?
Oh, no. Find your seam that makes the window rigid. You know, that rebar that restrip is designed to run from one end of the window to the other through your seams and not be cut. The more you cut it, the less it works. So when you're doing these windows and you know you're going to put restrip in it, y'all, you really need to work on the design so that the restrip goes in there the way it's supposed to. Every time you cut the restrip, you're not doing anything but covering up a piece of copper with solder. That's all you're doing. So you really, you know, it's designed to make the window stop flexing this way and that way. So keep in mind when you're designing a window that if you are going to use that, where it needs to go and how it is applied. So
In the planning stage.
yes,
before you
early
start.
planning stage.
Lisa wants to know, is there such a thing as a grinder that does not use water? She heard about one.
Well, I don't know, but if it didn't use water, it really wouldn't be real safe, and it would be cumbersome to wear masks all the time and everything in your studio. But I don't know. Everything that we use in our glass shop is wet because of the dust.
Because of the property of glass, you would want to keep it wet.
Yeah,
You don't want glass
around.
dust flying all around. Plus, the glass heats up when it's not
Yeah,
cooled off.
And you know what? Glass isn't just sand, y'all. There's 12 other things that go with it, and those other 12 things are some of them are natural, some of them are, but most of them are bad.
There's all kinds of grinders out there that don't use water, but for glass, you absolutely need water if you want to keep the dust down. Otherwise, you're going to...
And without water, you're not going to shape anything with glass because it's going to get too hot and break on you.
And the noise.
And the noise is just ridiculous. So when glass heats up, it breaks. So if you use a water-cooled sanding system, not only can you sand the glass, but you can actually shape the glass. So think about that. And I know grinders are expensive, but you know what? Go to yard sales and stuff, and you're going to find one. So.
Have never heard of anyone wanting to use that, but that's a good question. I mean...
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know
what, why or who would make one.
Yeah, I don't know
use
why.
Okay, we have another question. I've heard, no. Julie first. I skipped a person. Julie, looking for colored glue chip. No luck so far. Any idea? Live in Southeast Iowa.
Hey, Iowa. We...
That's Julie Rickert.
Oh,
Yes.
Julie, the best thing that I can tell you, because years ago it used to be in stock. I have a piece of green and a piece of red, but what I can tell you is I do have glue chipping glue, and you can make it yourself and not have to worry about wasting a bunch of time trying to find it, because it's pretty much not available. I mean, you could try Sunshine, but I'm pretty sure they don't have any. And I know I have two pieces in the back. I have a piece of red and a piece of green, and but that's it. Normally, if I need it for a repair or something, I'll just go ahead and hopefully I'll have the glass and I'll make it. And you can You can make as little or as much of it as you want, depending on how much glue chip. But Ray just posted up the glue chip video.
Yeah,
And it's really an interesting process. So.
The other thing you could do is, stack it.
Well, that's what I was going to suggest. I'm sitting here thinking.
If it's small enough pieces, you could paint it and fire it with a transparent paint. It's not going to change the texture. Am I right?
Right. Yeah, but you could use clear glue chip and plate any color you want. Mm-hmm. So think about that. That's one way of doing it. Just use the clear glue chip and plate it. Mm-hmm. And most glue chip is 1/8, and it'll fit either behind the lead, or you can attach it right there to the copper foil itself. But so just check out the plating directions, and Barbara has that section of the National Glass Association book published on our Amazon page, and it's a $25 section, but it does explain to you how to do all that.
How to do what now?
Plating. It's one of the
plating is?
Yeah, it's
in
one
what
of the
section is it in? I don't know. I don't know what section it's in.
Yeah.
Huh?
You put up five chapters of the book, and it's one of them. I don't know what it is.
I'm not sure which one it is.
Yeah, so anyway, hey, let's get to glass chat and talk about some lead or something. Or unless you got another question.
No.
Any more questions? Let's drive through. What did he say?
Magali asked, I've heard a rumor that Wismac is changing the way they are making glass.
Wismac?
From handmade to mechanical. Is that true?
It's kind of mechanical anyway, right? I think it's mechanical anyway, Barbara. Kinda. But I don't know, Magali. I'd have to find out, because I've heard a lot of different changes going on at Wismac. Like, they may start working on making Armstrong glass again. They may start making, if they can get in there. And right now, I think they're getting the studio and everything organized so that they can actually get back to work. And those of you that went up for the sale, I've heard lots of good things about the sale that they had up there. So, but yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Wismac. I'm happy that they're still open, because I don't even know that. Here's Miss Mary. I don't know that Wismac or Kokomo has got their furnaces back together yet, and trying to get them up and running, which would be great too. So I'm not sure what's going on with them, but I could ask Scott and find out and see if we could do something. And maybe he has an answer, because Scott up at Sunshine deals with Wismac a lot, and we probably would want to find out. I'll ask him, Magali, and see what's up. There are a lot of changes in the glass industry work right now, so a lot of changes.
When determining what to foil versus what to cane in a large project, what size do you usually start switching to foil on?
Just if you have really delicate pieces inside the window, smaller pieces. So if you have smaller pieces that you want to be able to be defined, because if you put a piece of lead around them or a lead on each side of them, they may disappear. So a lot of times you can use your own judgment on that, I think, don't you, Barb? Just think if you...
Magali wants to know who originally made glue chip. That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I think, the first thing I remember seeing it in, the windows with the mirrors and the glue chip and the Coca-Cola, the advertising. You know, I want to say it was made then, but I'm not sure who made it. That's a good question.
It was real popular like in the 20s, and you know, at the real, you know, it was real popular then.
Yeah, it was. So you ready to do your glass chat?
I guess we can.
Or
We were just going to talk about different profiles of lead, of cane, and then I got a couple of jacketed pieces of brass that have lead in them, and it makes it much easier for those things to work. So these are just little profiles of different size leads, and these are brass jacketed. Now the smallest lead profile that I keep in the shop here is 3/16, and it's this one right here, and you can kind of see that it's pretty small. And when it goes around the glass, it bites just a little tiny bit, like that. And then this is a 1/4 inch, so you can see the difference when it goes up there. We'll just put those two together like that, and you can see the difference. This is 1/4. This is 3/16. Now this lead right here, this is what I use on the outside of my windows. This is 3/8 flat H. And that is what I use on the outside of my windows. And the finished size of my window is always out here. The finished size is always out here. And then we have a 3/8 round H. And you can kind of see the difference in this when it comes up here like that. And then if we have the 3/8 flat going into that. So you can see the difference in these profiles and how much larger that they are as opposed to the 1/4 inch versus the 3/8. And all of these profiles, y'all, all of these profiles are just a few, these profiles here are just a few of many. They make the colonial profile, which is really quite pretty, but it only has certain applications. So, but yeah, so if you need, your lead is, I wouldn't use anything any smaller than 3/16 right away, especially if you're just learning how to do cane work. And if you need something smaller than that, that's where you would go to use your copper foil. So, and then I brought this piece of glass back for us because of the viewers talking about going into potholes and the glass not breaking correctly for them and everything. And this is just a really pretty glass. But it does have little potholes in it and everything. So you don't want to, as we go across this, you'll hear it. And I don't know how many potholes I dove into while we were driving across that. Oh, let's see if it works here. Let's try these. So even though you went into a pucker mark right here, there's a little flare right there. Same way right here, there's a little flare right there. Hey, Snuggles. And then right up here. But each one of those little flares, as we went through them, we just continued moving through them, and we did not come up, or we didn't take away the pressure on our cutter. Everything's the same. And these Liberschnitts are really a nice pair of running pliers, y'all. because they do several different things. And they will just come right in here and take this right out for you. So if we start our run here with these,
Can't see it.
like that, and then we'll come in on. So what I did, I just turned the head on this a little bit to chase this. And now I'm going to come back this direction and chase it right into it. And take that right out, just like that. So these little run pliers are really quite nice. And I've been using them more and more lately because I just like the way they fit in my hand. Between these and my Lepinette running pliers, these are the only two pliers that are sitting on my table now. So, they're really a nice pair of pliers. And remember, on your lead profiles, guys, you don't want to do a whole big lead profile on a small window, because then it looks like that was the only thing that you were able to get a hold of. So take your time, find some different size leads to work with, or canes, and use some different profiles in your windows, because it will make your windows look much nicer. So. So what I like about these pliers the best is that the top head swivels and the bottom doesn't, and you can just chase this thing around. And the throat on this is a 1/2 inch deeper than normal running pliers, so it allows you to go in a little bit further, and will allow you to make, instead of making rainbow cuts, it'll allow you to make that cut all at one time using these grousing pliers. So that's pretty good, huh?
Thank you, Ed. Okay, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat and we'll be happy to answer them. Ask Ed to drive through the glass fast to show what will happen. Hang on a second.
Drive through. What is this last? Is this a test? Let's see. Let's see. Oh, last the laws of gravity are on me tonight. Everything's working good. Let's see how. Even that sounded bad to me. Ugh. I tell you, it must be my cutter, Les. Everything's working really good. Or my
silver schnitz.
Silver schnitz.
Silver
schnitz. Yeah, these are my silver schnitz. Maybe they're working good. I don't know.
A.K. Martinez says she finally purchased a Toyo cutter, game changer.
I don't know, y'all. This glass is just really, maybe it's just not bumpy enough, and I'm not jumping over top of all the hills. But these silver schnitz running pliers are really a nice pair of running pliers, and they work really well. So.
Okay, Rick has a question.
Hey, Rick.
He has never done lead work and would intuitively think H would be used to join two pieces of glass together. So why do we use H came on the outside of a window?
Rick, most of the time when we're doing windows, we're fitting them into existing sashes, And those sashes usually especially during repairs, they're not square. So by using that 3/8 flat H lead on the outside, that other side of that H allows me to take a microplane and shave that down to make sure that it gets right in that sash, perfectly square. Without you can make the window square, but the sashes, it's inevitable, they're never quite where they need to be. So I use that little bit. It gives me another 1/4 of an inch or so of play, and I can shave it down by using a microplane. So I just find it easier to do that way. And every old window that I've ever been in, actually they have no lead on the outside edges at all, because the border was installed on the job because each sash was a different size.
Okay, Pauline wants to know, when going shopping for glass, how can I tell old glass from the texture or the width? How can I detect a good glass made well?
You can't.
Can't tell by looking at it.
You can't tell by looking at it. And you really don't know if the glass is annealed right until you start to cut it. And then when you cut it, most glasses, though, are annealed correctly. The majority of them are, right? I don't think you'd have too many problems with them.
Yeah, if you know your manufacturer, then you can make the right choices.
Yeah, what their glass looks like.
Question. Val said, I was told when I started way back to not bang over the end of my cut, that it might chip and edge off the end. Do you find that this is true? I hear you bang. LOL.
Yeah.
Banging on the glass.
I'm banging on the glass. You know what? Sometimes when I come off, it does do that, but I'm going to say most of the time it doesn't. And it doesn't hurt my cutter because I'm coming off on wood. I guess I do come off, don't I, huh?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Yeah, so it can happen, and it's not okay if it does happen, because it may break the piece of glass that you're trying to cut. But yeah, I do come off of that. Usually if I'm cutting on the light box, I don't come off because I'm popping onto another piece of glass. But if I'm cutting on a wooden table, yeah, I do about that. That's probably a bad habit of mine.
Okay, so any other questions? We've got 6 minutes left. We got time for a few more questions. If you have a question, just put it in the chat with a Q. Thank you, Ray. We appreciate it. Ray put the link to the Silberschnitz up for you.
Oh, okay.
Can Ed show how to cut a bevel piece of glass? I don't have any bevel glass in here.
I don't have any bevels in here.
I don't think, but we'll bring them to the next live stream. Write a note.
I'll just make a note.
And we will bring some bevel glass to the next live stream.
Bevel glass.
That's a good question.
Cut.
Bevel glass takes special care in the Stainedglass studio because they're softer, they scratch easy, you got to move them around, sometimes you got to grind them, so there's a lot of things you need to remember.
Right, and you really don't cut, and you don't cut the bevel on the beveled side, you cut it on the flat side.
So we'll talk about bevels next week at the live stream. Thank you for that question. That's a good one because I don't think we've talked about.
We haven't, and I do have some bevel borders.
Yeah.
So
working with bevels.
Yeah. So working with bevels, and you can cut them down, and they're usually your bevels, your stock bevels that you purchase are usually out of 3/16 glass. So even when you cut them down, you're still going to have to edge grind them to get them to fit in your lead for you. So
okay, excuse me. When Magali says, when I score my glass and it comes off the end, it chips at the end. Not all the time. What am I doing wrong?
It's just you're catching it with the back end of your glass cutter, just like I do. I catch it with the back end of my glass cutter when it comes off, and it just kind of slaps the glass a little bit.
Julie said, you had said it was good to start your cut from the hot side, though that is the benefit of coming off the glass. Start the the run.
From the hot side, which is, so when you come off, it doesn't start the run for you, Julie,
No.
but it does. I just grab it and start from that end of the glass, and it does work. A lot of people like it, and a lot of people have said that it actually changes and they get more glass out rather than some.
Thank you, Rick. We
Crappy
appreciate
bro. Thank
that.
you, Rick.
We really appreciate
So
that.
yeah, rather than
I haven't had one in so long. I don't even know how to make the thing go. How's it doing?
there we go.
Okay.
There you go. There, you got the light dancing,
Thank
Rick.
you.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick. We appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, we really do. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate
Thank you
that.
so much.
That's an awful nice compliment there, young man.
Yes. And we enjoy doing this
We do.
a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Most of the time we do. Right, Mr. Ed? Is that right? We have a great time.
We do. We do. Except sometimes I'm a pain in the ass.
That's in a whole other live stream. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we can't even do a short on that one. You better go to the bathroom
No,
before you start
no.
watching the long on that one.
Get a couple snacks, pizza,
Order some pizza, get
sit
some.
back.
Yeah.
I got a lot to tell. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No,
We're human. We're human. That's all I can say. We're two human beings
Having fun.
trying to get along in this.
Having fun
crazy
right
world.
here in this beautiful. Actually, you know what? When you turned the chat on and everybody, all those
I know,
names
everyone was
popped
here.
up, I was like, "Holy cow, Barb! This is really."
Well, that is wonderful. That's good to hear. You guys are the only reason I got into this. I was terrified of glass before, so it's greatly appreciated.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Do you prefer Edco tape over other brands?
Well, right now, Edco's really the good brand, and most of what's coming right now is everything's out of China, and so if you can find some Edco, I like Edco foil. It doesn't have fancy packaging and all that, but you know what? You don't need fancy
what you
packaging.
got.
What you need is copper foil, and
sticks.
Edco does it. Yeah, so
Sticks.
yes, I'm all in on Edco foil. Yes,
Can we get Edco?
some suppliers are carrying it right now.
Okay.
A lot of the suppliers that are getting the stuff from China, it's okay, but it's okay.
It's all right.
You can it still works,
Still works.
and once you solder it, nobody knows where it came from. But it's
So,
just wish Venture would get their stuff together.
So we got the new rebar video out last week. This week I'm hoping to get the decorative soldering video finished for y'all. And so maybe we'll be able to premiere it next Monday night.
Oh, that'd be
so
great.
We'll wait and see. Well, I hope we can. I'm working on it.
The decorative soldering.
Decorative soldering video.
Okay. All right. That's
And
good.
we'll have a couple of shorts on some glass cutting.
Yes,
this
we
week.
will. We will.
So
Well, because we're getting new colors out.
Yeah, new
because we're starting
colors.
another
Yeah.
section of
New
the
colors.
project. So.
So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for showing up tonight. You make our week every week. We look forward to this. So thank
really
you for
do.
coming out. We appreciate you, and we will see you next Monday night. And look for some new videos coming out this week.
We're working hard.
We are.
We're working hard. A new project's coming up. We'll have maybe a video about a little bit of drawing too coming up because
Yeah,
we'll
we have
be
a drawing
some
video coming up.
because we're working on some other projects.
Okay, guys.